And there we go. We get one more this month. You can have a little bit of PragerU as a treat. How to End White Privilege from January 20th. This is fresh content right here. Okay? I'm interested because I want to end white privilege. I'm ready to end white privilege. I'm here for it. I'm craving it, you know? Let's find out together. I'm excited. PragerU always has some really great takes, you know?
Woke white people, I'd like to ask you a favor.
I'm ready. Probable black man, just judging from the voice, no racist to Reno. Let me know.
Please stop asking for forgiveness for your white privilege.
No problem. Nobody fucking does this. Literally nobody. I have been in all sorts of left-leaning communities. Nobody fucking does this.
You're not fooling anybody.
Yeah.
You're not helping black people or any other minority.
Yeah.
And your public confessions don't make you look virtuous.
Damn,
They make you look disingenuous.
Damn right, that's true. It's almost like I put a video out on this, yeah, about how it's cringy to do the performatively disavowing white people. Now, I've never heard anybody fucking apologizing for their white privilege, except for some really cringy, like 14-year-old lefties back in high school or whatever. But yeah, okay, cool. I'm with it, yeah.
Which is a really nice way of saying fake, phony, and fraudulent.
Damn.
For starters, what is white privilege anyway? Because you're born with white skin, you have all these advantages that I don't have?
Yes. That is how it works. Yes. Yeah. Doesn't mean all white people are better off than all non-white people. Just means that, generally speaking, on average, being white is more advantageous than being black in a wide variety of situations.
Like what?
Sure, I would be happy to answer that question. So, disproportionate sentencing, disproportionate policing in your communities, broad disavowal and discrimination faced by like the broader media. Yeah, it's a former cop, so that's what you're going to get here. This guy probably locked away other fucking blacks with a smile on his face. I'm fixing the culture problem, he says in his head. Yeah, longer prison sentences, a lack of institutional access to a wide variety of things. Say, for example, good education, good medical care, good economic availability in the neighborhoods that black people tend to typically congregate in. Now, black disadvantage often overlaps with poor disadvantage. And the reason for that is because due to systemic wealth inequality and generational wealth divides, black people are significantly more likely to be poor than white people in the US. The average household wealth of a black family is like 1/50th the average household wealth of a white family. That's not because of culture. That's because household wealth tends to descend from generational wealth, and you guys were slaves just a little while ago. So, you know, that hurt your chances a little bit. Just a smidge, possibly. But that's all on a class basis, you know, that's a general thing. On a specific basis, whether or not you're white or black can hamper or harm you or help you in a wide variety of ways. There you go. I helped out, you know. As a white man, I'm always happy to help out the minority community by giving them some easy answers to rhetorical questions.
Like you can get a mortgage loan that I can't get?
Used to be able to, yeah. And still, yes, redlining is still a thing.
I got a loan. At a great rate, by the way. And I got the house.
Damn, that's an argument against systemic injustice. What? Just got black man walks onto a video. Hey, you think that black people are oppressed? I'm a millionaire. Walks off camera. Damn. Racism's over.
Why would a banker not give a loan to someone who met the loan requirements?
Well, that's an excellent question. Why don't we look back into our history books back in the 1950s? Well, it might be because the banks would work with house builders and homeowners who knew that their homes would sell for less if the neighborhood became non-white. So they would pressure would be put on them to avoid giving loans to black families because nobody in their broader circle of interest wanted black families in those neighborhoods. See? That's an example right there. I have more, but you know, we only got so much time in this video.
He doesn't want to make money? I've never heard of such a banker.
Friendly reminder that for 70 years after slavery ended, many, many businesses wouldn't accept black people or black people's money. They did it just because of racism. They would have made more money otherwise. Just a hot reminder there, you know, that for a period of time longer than black people have been not second-class citizens, businesses had the ability to cater to black clientele and usually wouldn't.
Or how about this? You can enter a store and not be looked upon with suspicion, but I, a black person, cannot, except that has never happened to me.
Is this gonna be the whole fucking video, dude? Wow. Racism's over. Just a few weeks ago, I had somebody in chat donated and told me a story about how there used to be a shoplifting crew that they would run with, where the black guy would just like sit there and do nothing and attract the attention of the shop owner as he wandered around, and then like the little girls would steal everything. Because like every time the shop owner would be more suspicious of the tall black guy than of the little girls. You know? Yeah, again, that's another anecdote. I'm just saying, like, that's the thing. You know, I've worked retail, I've worked service, you know. These stories circulate.
But if I was a young dude with my pants hanging down to my butt, I could understand why the store owner would be concerned.
Damn. I love former cops' perspectives on race relations. Damn, dude. So racism isn't real as long as you act white. Nice.
I used to be a cop.
Wait, why? Why? You're a cop. You should be trained in risk assessment. Can you explain to me exactly why having your pants down low means that you should be discriminated against racially? And by the way, the idea that black people who have their pants up around their waist don't also get discriminated against is completely untrue. But yeah, you see, when I go into the store, they treat me just fine. But when a kid comes in with the rap music, all right. That's not a black voice. That's Cosby's voice. That sounded like Cosby. Fuck you. Okay, whatever. Was that supposed to be Cosby? Because Cosby's talked about the rap music. Okay.
Believe me, I understand. If I owned the store, I'd be tracking that kid too.
Damn.
Whether he was black, white, or anything else.
Why?
Or what if I had a store...
Wait, why? Wait, why? 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 Why?
They had a history of being shoplifted by young black women. And a young black woman with a bad attitude walked in. Would I be suspicious?
Wait, why do you... Wait. Why do you have to add with the bad attitude? Of course, if somebody comes in with a bad attitude, you would keep an eye on them. No fucking shit. That's not the argument you're making, my dude. You're arguing in favor of racial profiling, where you see in a newspaper that black women have been stealing a lot, so now you're going to keep an eye on black women, as if this is how racism tends to happen, you know? That's the daily experience of racism for your average, young black kid, you know? It's that they're always being mistreated by everyone because everyone just saw a person who looks just like them steal a purse and run away. It's always because they look like somebody who just did something bad. There's no broader issue here. Everyone's just looking for that last perp, you know? That's all racism throughout history. Slavery? Well, there was one black guy originally who was a slave, and then they thought every other black guy was that black guy, so they just enslaved the entire race of people just to, make sure.
Yeah, I would. Who wouldn't? I call that common sense, not bigotry.
Well, again, so why'd you have to throw the bad attitude in there? You didn't make the argument you were intending to make, my dude. If you're arguing for racial profiling, then you probably shouldn't fucking poison the well by arguing that the person who you're profiling also... when I see black women have been stealing a lot, and then a black woman comes into my store with guns at her hips, firing them into the air, saying, "Yeehaw, about to do a crime!" And then, yeah, you're right. I am going to keep an eye on her. That's just logical. Like, all right. Got him, I guess.
But there's another way of looking at this. In many ways, in today's America, blacks have more privilege than whites.
Then shut the fuck up and stop speaking over me, you fucking cishet oppressor.
It's been my experience that
Been my experience. We're very careful to not talk about the data here, because all existing data affirms the thing that everyone already knows, which is that white people have privilege and black people don't, you know, in regards to the racial dynamic, you know, everyone knows this. But so we can't talk about the data because the data doesn't support the arguments. We have to go for the anecdote and the argument.
whites bent over backwards to give blacks every possible advantage.
Damn, dude. Holy shit. I grew up next to East LA. Holy shit, man. I should have gone over there more. This sounds like a hippin' happening place. Where the white businessmen would rile on by the poor fucking ghetto neighborhood kids and hand out, I don't know what advantage is. This is like a candy bar or whatever the fuck they're handing over to my man Tatum. And yeah, it must have been a real wildin' place.
If two people are equally qualified for a job, the black person will usually get it.
That is not true. There are very specific and select instances where that's the case, but data-driven, you know, in a data perspective, it's actually usually the white person. Affirmative action tries to compensate for that racism by having the black person be the one who's picked in neutral situations, but it is usually, in fact, the white person, as demonstrated, of course, by the resume argument. You know, how resumes with black-sounding names get tossed out more than resumes with white-sounding names. There's no other justification for that. It's the same resume. It's just the name. The black ones got tossed out like twice as much. So obviously, in that case, you know, in spite of affirmative action, these employers are pretty keen on getting the whiteys into their businesses.
Big companies and prestigious universities fall all over one another trying to sign up talented black people.
Yeah. Talented black people. Like if you're exceptional, they would do that with people of any race who's talented and exceptional. What is this argument? Notice how he's not using the language that would support his point in an academic environment. He can't say what he's implying, that that universities will disproportionately pick black people. He can't say that because it's not true. He has to make these weird, like, they line up to pick up talented, and of course no sources or anything.
If you deny this, you are denying reality.
Damn.
Which is what the person who dreamed up this whole thing did. A professor of women's studies at Wellesley College by the name of Peggy McIntosh.
Peggy McIntosh? That sounds like a name that I'm not hating or anything. That sounds like a name that I would make up for like a D&D character if someone really held me to the spot, like really quickly, like, oh, you know, a bartender serves you, you know, your drink and says, enjoy your drink, my lord, and walks off. What's her name? What's your name, miss? Peggy McIntosh. Like, you know, it sounds like something I kind of throw out there real quick.
She wrote in an article in 1988 about all the white privilege she thought she had.
How is this relevant at all? I mean, I had a diary when I was a kid. And? Is this?
She listed 46, including this one. I can choose bandages and flesh color and have them more or less match my skin.
And? Yeah. If you're a bandage manufacturer and you're selling your bandages in the color flesh and it's all white skin tones, that is a little bit weird, isn't it? Because we never do it the other way around, do we? We never have a bunch of brown Band-Aids and brown crayons that we call flesh. So what they're doing here is they're finding like the silliest point that they can like point out and make fun of. If this is the silliest point, then the rest of the bulletin points on this list must be pretty fucking good.
Wow.
What? Damn, dude.
That's some kind of privilege.
Damn.
Soon others took up the cause. Today, these so-called progressives dominate our colleges.
Wait, what do you mean so-called progressives? Are they not just progressive? Also, wait. What is the relationship here? They were talking about the advantages black people have, and then they said once one lady said white people have an advantage. One of those points was good, but sounded silly to me because I'm very dumb. Wow. Anyway, then it became a revolution. Like, what the fuck are we talking about?
And universities, imposing this absurd notion of white privilege on their students.
I have to point out, the existence of white privilege is academic hegemony. Nobody disputes this. I would go so far as to say that climate change is the climate change statistics are disputed more than the idea that white people experience privilege in the respective climate change and sociology fields. Evolution is disputed more. So this is on the level of climate change denial or evolution denial, which is, hey, two positions PragerU also holds. Prager University. It's definitely an education you can't get elsewhere.
That's too bad because it does nothing good for white students.
Why would social programs meant to compensate for white privilege have to help white students? What? What? That's like... And I can't help but notice when there was this push to get free tampon machines in the women's restroom, it didn't help men as much. Okay. All right. I guess.
And it does nothing good for black students.
Well, I mean, what policies exactly are we talking about here? Because we kind of lost the train of thought. I don't even know if we're talking about affirmative action anymore. What are we even talking about? What policies do nothing good for black students? I bet he's not going to specify anything.
But of the two, ironically, the white students get the better of the deal.
Damn. Well, I thought white people had less privilege than black. If your argument is that black people actually have more privilege than white people, wouldn't you be in favor of white students getting the better side of the deal? Even if the dumb horseshit you're spewing out of your mouth is correct, which it's not by any... We are off in fantasy land right now. But even if that was correct, wouldn't that by your own claim be the just thing to do? I still have no idea what policy we're talking about here.
Let me explain.
Please do.
To acknowledge your white privilege is supposed to make you feel bad.
No! This is the same white guilt argument that conservatives have been using for fucking centuries. I swear to God, I could go back to 1862 and I could say, hey, guys, we probably shouldn't enslave the Negroes. And then someone would turn to me and say, why are you so guilty over being white, dude? He would say dude, even in the 1860s. Why are you so guilty about being white, bro? It's the same argument every single time. To acknowledge that there's any benefit whatsoever to being white in this country is, in the eyes of a conservative, an act of self-cuckery. So low is the conservative self-esteem that the mere admission... So most conservatives are failures of human beings, just on a spiritual level, one could say, like in a sort of epistemic capacity, they've failed because they're conservatives, and the idea to these weaklings, these weak-hearted, sort of fragile babies, that any of their success in life might have had anything to do with systemic benefits leaning towards them, it makes them, they just cry. They have a fit. They do their little diaper sit down protest, you know? Remember the diaper protest? That's what they do, because they can all poop. They can all do like a little poop in their pants. They get really upset at that idea. Now me, the Chad progressive leftist Vosh recognizes, of course I benefit from privilege. I will never apologize for them. Ever. I will never apologize for my privilege. See, Chad Tucker right here. If you want to take responsibility for slavery, go ahead. See, that's the thing, Chad Tucker. I'm not my race. And you, my friend, are very, very stupid. take responsibility for slavery. I didn't do slavery. How the fuck am I taking responsibility for slavery? What the fuck are you talking about? I'm just saying that, yeah, slavery happened. It was white people doing it to black people, at least here in this country, here in America. It was mostly whites doing it to blacks, you know. And as a result of the economic conditions following from that, I have benefited. It's that simple. Nobody's taking responsibility for things they didn't do. And because I'm not a giant pussy, I don't cry when I'm told that I have benefited from the systems in our society in some way. It's very easy for me, you know.
Only it doesn't. It makes you feel good because by acknowledging your white privilege, you're declaring yourself to be enlightened.
I mean, sure, yeah. So to say a correct statement makes you feel good because you think you're right. Sure. Yeah, okay. Sure. Yeah.
And as a virtue bonus,
Ooh,
it also makes
virtue bonus. I see, okay.
you a better person than those whites who don't acknowledge their privilege.
Yeah, or smarter. Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, sure. Yeah. Are you mad that I'm smarter than you and I get off on being smarter than other people? Are you malding? Are you malding? No, he's not malding. He has a good hairline. I forgot. I just need to go back and check. It would have been a good dunk, you know, but hey, you know, yeah, it's true. It turns out being right feels good. Wow. I mean, incredible.
White privilege, which is supposed to make you feel bad, ends up.
No, it's not. I've been in all these social justice courses before. It's not meant to make you feel bad. I've talked to the teachers. I've sat through the lectures. Even went to a relatively SJW school, which was the Humboldt State University. Chud Tucker keeps posting the Jews did slavery, not white people. For one, Jew and white are not mutually irreconcilable by anyone's definition except Nazis. And for two, I mean, the entire country participated in the transatlantic slave trade for centuries, and all of our founding fathers were slaves. And the South went to war to defend. I think it was a white thing. Even if that was the case, and Jews were the ones responsible for all slavery, that doesn't change the socioeconomic conditions that we live in today. The only reason you would think that is if you believe that the purpose of acknowledging the existence of slavery and its consequences is to make an argument that we're trying to take personal responsibility for the individual actions of our ancestors. Globalists did slavery? Damn. This is PragerU time. We argue with the Nazis on the Nazi days, and we argue with the fascists on the fascist days. This is fascist day. Maybe tomorrow can be Nazi day. That was a Nazi poster. We deal with that later.
Making you feel good. Meanwhile, the real damage is to blacks.
Damn. Wait, okay, so again, how do we hurt black? Wait, so how does acknowledging that white people have systemic advantages over black people in a racial line hurt black? Okay, let's find out.
What makes whites feel good makes blacks angry.
Wait, what? What?
More than 50 years after the civil rights movement, the message is, you're still oppressed.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes. True. Yes. Also, it's been more than 50 years. It's been well more than 50 years.
How can this not create a victim mentality?
Dude, it's not about victimhood, my dude, because we're not fucking individualistic, atomized babies like you guys are. When we think we've benefited from privilege, we don't instantly think we're fucking Chad conquerors or whining guilt-infested babies. And when we think that some people have been on the losing end of some power differentials in society, that doesn't make you a fucking victim mentality weirdo. By the way, to speak of victim mentality, PragerU and conservatism in general are broadly dedicated towards making straight cisgender white people feel like they are under attack from fucking everyone in society. society. That is the literal reason these channels exist. So soup-brained, dumb fuck, simpletons can go online, even though everything that's gone wrong in their life has been their own fucking fault, and then feel as though every single problem they've had is actually because the globalists, or black people, or crazy SJWs, or progressives. That's it. That's the whole reason these channels exist. So that Christian conservatives can go online and cry because they feel like they're the ones who are being oppressed. Don't talk to me about victim fucking narrative, dude. I just follow the data. That's all I do. I follow the data. The data overwhelmingly reaffirms the premise that black people are socioeconomically and socially disadvantaged in this country at this point in time. I follow the data because I'm not a fucking bitch who has to lie in highly propagandized videos funded by oil billionaires to get my point across. I can just recite data. It's very, very easy, by the way, for me. You know, I make it very easy for myself.
And anyone of any color who sees himself as a victim gets angry. Now, I wouldn't deny.
What? Sure, wait, black people should be angry. Yeah, black people are getting fucked over right now. By this very video. Yeah, black people should be angry. Yeah.
Not for a second that there are privileges in life. They're all over the place.
Yes, that's true.
There's two-parent family privilege. That's huge. There's being lucky to be born in America privilege. There's good gene privilege.
Like facial symmetry, height. Yeah, totally.
But white privilege? Doesn't it depend on the person?
Then it depends on this? What the fuck are you talking about? No! There are people with two-parent families who have lived shitty lives. There are people born in America who have lived shitty lives. There are people with good genes who have had shitty lives. And there are people who are white who have had shitty lives. Privilege doesn't mean everyone in that group has a fucking daisy keen life. Of course it depends on the person. These are class issues.
Let's take this for example. A black lawyer and his wife have a baby, and a meth addict, single
No shit!
white woman has a baby. Which kid has privilege?
There are multiple privileges. You just said this. The lawyer and his wife have privileged two-parent household wealth, and the meth addict single white woman has the white privilege. If that meth addict single woman was black, she would probably, statistically speaking, be more fucked than she would be if she was white. And as for the lawyer kid, if the black lawyer and his wife were actually a white lawyer and his wife, statistically speaking, you all would make more money and have had an easier time in life. You just said there are multiple privileges. You just acknowledged it. So why is there one privilege card here? You just said, we just did a little graphic here.
In life.
Look at this.
They're all over the place.
Damn, you're right, they are all over the place. So what happened? What happened?
He's white? Come on now. The white one? Because he's white?
No, where's the multiple cards? You just showed multiple cards. Where'd the multiple cards go? Why is it just one now? There are multiple intersectional axes here. Even PragerU is such, they are so confident that their audience is stupid that they will put the counter-argument to their arguments in their video, defend the counter-argument, and then abandon the counter-argument the moment it comes time to make the first argument again. And they know it'll work because their audience is full of simpletons. They know they can get away with it because they know they're reciting this to a group of lemmers.
Come on now.
Come on now.
And here's the kicker. Even if it were true, all those claims about white privilege, so what?
I mean, that's an argument.
Would it change a single thing I did?
What?
If white people apologize for being white?
What? What the fuck you... Nobody's when you say... So what if white privilege exists? You're talking about so what if massive socioeconomic disparity exists. This has nothing to do with white people apologizing for being white.
Is that supposed to help me?
No. No, it doesn't, which is why nobody advocates for it.
In what way? So let's be real.
Let's be real.
White privilege is an attempt by the left to divide Americans by race.
No, I thought white privilege is actually about, so following the logic of this video, white people actually have less privilege than black people. He said that in the beginning. And also acknowledging that you have less privilege than another group means you have a victim mentality, which makes you angry. So maybe white privilege is actually, and he said that advocating for white privilege is actually benefiting white people more than black people. So maybe based leftists are actually using arguments for white privilege to elevate themselves above the superior blacks in this country who have far more privilege than we do. And we're doing this using the anger that we derive from the legitimate victim status that he acknowledges we should have because we have less privilege than black people. Damn! Now I'm a victim. I'm a victim of black America. I'm ready. I'm ready for the bright new future.
It's all theory and all nonsense.
Damn.
If you want to fall for it, go ahead.
Damn.
It's a free country.
Damn.
But don't try to sell it to me.
Damn.
I'm an American who deal with my fellow Americans one-on-one. Try it. It works.
Hey, have you ever tried to fix socioeconomic problems by addressing Americans one-on-one? Hey, you want to have lower taxes? I have higher taxes, and I can still pay for stuff. Right-leaning people will tell you you need lower taxes, but they're lying to you. If anything, people with higher taxes pay even less money. This is true per capita. So really, tax makers in Washington, why don't you try to stop looking at us as tax brackets and just tax everyone individually? Try it. It works. Damn, you know? Wait, hold on. I don't know. Maybe I'm a little too white for this. I feel like this guy's thugging out a little bit at the end. This is like the verbal equivalent of wearing saggy pants. Listen to this.
Deal with my fellow Americans one-on-one. Try it. It works.
Damn, with the hand motion and everything? I don't know. If this guy came into my shop, I better make sure I've got my Glock ready. I'm getting a little spooked. It's not because he's black, of course. You know, it's just his aggressive language, his bad attitude, you know. I don't trust his outfit. His outfit seems to be one that's commonly worn by pedophiles. You know, it's just a little bit too, it's just a little yikesy for me personally. So I'd keep an eye on him. Not because he's black, of course.
I'm Brandon Tatum for Prager University. Thank you for watching this video.
That was the most worthless video I've ever watched in my entire life. That's the biggest waste of time. Holy shit, dude. All right.